What's up, y'all? Gonna let the room fill up just a little bit. I had not planned to go live this soon. What's up, Jocelyn? How you doing? You've been on my heart. I don't know why. I said Jocelyn's been on my heart for the past few days. How's everything going? How's everything going? I pray that all is well and that you are in great spirits. I pray that all is well and that you are in great spirits. I wanted to get on here to talk about something. I know that the title says update, but I kind of would just wanted to share a few thoughts that or I guess revelatory moments that I was having maybe just a few minutes ago. Everybody, I think, to a certain degree has gotten to a point where like a struggle or life circumstance becomes overwhelming. Like, I think everyone has gone through that phase where, like, when you're going through something and it gets to that point where it's overwhelming, that point where you just feel like, Lord, if something else happens, I am going to break. I think by a show of hands, how many people can say you've been to that point where you've gotten overwhelmed with a situation, a circumstance, or a rough season in your life, and it just feels like it becomes too much to bear? I think that everybody to a certain degree has experienced that, right? But nobody talks about the moments like we're receiving a breakthrough, receiving a blessing, how it has the same effect. I'm gonna say that again. Like receiving the new thing, receiving a breakthrough, receiving a miracle, especially when you're coming out of a season where you've had to endure, where you've had to go so long without a certain thing. I feel like no one really talks about how overwhelming that can be, how it'll make you feel like, Lord, I'm about to implode. Not explode, I'm about to implode. This is just literally too much. And so earlier today, I started, well, not earlier today, well, a few minutes ago, I started to really feel that way. Like, Lord, I'm about to implode. It's not that there are bad things happening, but I think that sometimes fighting becomes our new norm. Sometimes struggle becomes our new norm. Like, for real, Kanima, sometimes those things wholeheartedly become we get accustomed to fighting. We get accustomed to being disappointed. We get accustomed to being frustrated. And it's the moment where, it's the moment where, you know, um, you don't have to do that. Not only does it raise an eyebrow, but it just makes you feel like this is too much. This is overwhelming, God. It is nothing bad, but I feel the same way that I felt when I was going through the struggle. I had a whole moment, because this has been a season of my life. Before this housing thing, there was so much. Even in the beginning of it, there was so much that I've just had to fight, like many of you guys, all year. And we only in March. I'm like some of y'all, I'm like, Lord, I had certain expectations for January, February, but it's just been rough. And so I was, trying to get to the root of exactly what I was feeling, because it's the email, as well as some other things that I have not been released to talk about those things just yet. I've just been at a place where I'm just like, this is too much. It's a lot going on. Anybody ever felt like, God, this is a lot going on? And although it's not a struggle, although I've seen the worst of what I'm gonna see. Blessings to you, Joy Speaks. Anybody ever felt like, God, it's a lot going on, and it ain't that it's bad stuff, but it's that it's so much going on, right? That I feel the same way that I was feeling in the struggle. It's good stuff happening, but emotionally, I feel the same type of that overwhelmed sensation. That's what I'm telling God this. Are y'all ready for this? If you're ready I have a point that I'm about to make. So I'm telling God all of this. I'm like, Lord, I feel like I'm about to straight up implode. I can't take don't do nothing else right now, Lord. That was how I was feeling. God, I cannot physically take any more, not in a negative sense, but like, can you please just give me some time to breathe? Like, give me some time to breathe and handle just one thing at a time, because it's been so many things back to back to back. And, I said, Lord, it feels like I'm in the storm. And you know what God told me? He said, this is what enlargement feels like. He said, you asked, you over the years, you've asked me for some things. You've asked me for some things that you went a long time without, a long time, just holding on to the faith that I would do these things. So now you've entered into a season where old prophetic words, old promises, they are literally coming to pass, and it is shocking to your system. You ever got some news that shocks you to the core? Like, it straight up shocks your core. Like, you be speechless, you can't think, like it discombobulates you. Anybody ever gotten some news that just straight up shocks your socks off? Listen, this is how I've been feeling. Like, Lord, but the Lord told me, he said, when you go such a long time, holding on to faith, to a certain degree, there comes a point where we all battle with hopelessness, where you just start to feel, because you've waited so long, you've had to endure so much. Like, there comes a point where you get into the mindset of, it ain't ever gonna happen. And although you may not say it, your demeanor kind of speaks for itself. It shows that you are wrestling with hopelessness. Like, there is no, light in your eye when when you think about that thing or any of that. But the Lord said, what many of my children are about to experience in this season is the enlargement of their territory. And it ain't, for many people, it's not recent things that you just started believing God for. He said, I need to say that again. Like, for many people, the things that are happening in this season, these are not recent things that you just started praying about a month ago, 2 months ago, 5 months ago. These are the things that God is doing in this hour. These are things that for many of us, it's been years. For many of us, it has been a while. And instead of seeing progress, it's been setback, it's been disappointment, it's been frustration, and to a certain degree, you have lost the fire to keep believing God in this area. And although you fight for your faith, to a certain degree, God is saying many people have started to lose hope. But the Lord said, in this hour, many of his children are about to be in for the shock of a lifetime, as old prophetic promises, things that you just forgot about, things that you just kind of gave up on happening, where they're about to emerge in such a way that shocks you to the core of who you are. And it's that shock in itself, it gives the same sensation as struggling. But the Lord had to tell me, he said, you're not struggling. You're not feeling this way because something bad is happening. No, some of it is fear of being let down again, fear of being frustrated again, fear of being blindsided again. But the Lord said, for the most part, what's happening is I'm answering these old prayers, and it's shocking you to the core. And so I just had to share that, because again, a lot of people talk about being overwhelmed when you're going through a storm, when you're being tested, when you're going, when you're being put in the fire. But nobody really talks about when God finally does some things, and a lot of times he does it at a pace that it's uncomfortable. It's uncommon and uncomfortable. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of times when God does bless you, when he does answer, that thing that you've been standing on, a lot of times it is both uncommon and uncomfortable. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? And so, it does require you to be very patient. But a lot of times when the timing of God hits, it takes you in like a whirlwind. It happens so quickly. And for a lot of us, it seems like, God, I can't even get my bearing. So much is happening. It ain't bad stuff, but there is literally so much movement. Because to a certain degree, I was feeling that way. I'm like, okay, God, things are quiet. I was just talking about how quiet it is. Like, things are quiet with the housing process, but it's literally been right when I get to a place where I'm like, whew, I can kind of breathe right now. Boom, it's movement again. It's like a whole bunch of movement again. And so, I felt led to just share that because that was like kind of like my struggle like a few minutes ago. Like, I was literally feeling like whatever's on the inside of me, if you do something else, God, I'm going to implode. Like, it's too much. Like, I literally told God, this is too much happening all at the same time. Like, God, I don't have the mental capacity to even like, think about all that. I just cannot chill. Just give me let me make it through one thing first, Lord. And he straight up told me, one, you're not struggling, but two, this is what enlargement looks like. I don't think people like really realize like how stretched you have to be for God to enlarge your territory, for God to like bring you like to the next level. Like, people really don't even like understand that. And so I felt led to share that because these are some of the things that I was battling with today, like for the past few days, but today it just came to a head and I just had to say, God, okay now. Okay now, Lord. Too much. Too much. And that was the revelation, that he gave me. Like, I was almost on the verge of like a panic attack because it was just the thought of everything that, has been happening around me. It's just been so much. So much, sometimes it gets to be so much that you don't even really want to talk about it. Like, one, because sometimes you don't have words, but two, because you like, God, I'm already feeling like I'm about to explode and implode. So you talking about this thing is only literally, going to make it worse. And so I say all that to say, get ready. Get ready. Can I just get somebody to type that in? Like, get ready. God is about to shock your socks off in this season. As things that you forgot about, things that you just totally like lost your fire about, as they come alive. We're in a season where like God means it when he says like he's springing us forward into our destiny, into all that he has for us. He just keeps saying that, like, tell them I'm springing them forward into all that I have for them. And so that's it. Get ready. Somebody tell your neighbor, get ready, because God is about to do it. And for many people, you're gonna be saying the same thing. It's uncommon and uncomfortable. It's I wasn't thinking it was gonna be at this pace, Lord. And so that is it, man. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, and get ready. And so right now, for those of you guys that were not on the last broadcast, like right now, the update is I have to get my home appraisal done. I just got the okay for the bank to order my appraisal. And so right now my goal is 575, and that is what it costs to get that paid for and get that handled. Who I don't know why God want me to say this, but to whoever it is that has not paid your tithes, there are several of y'all here. Go pay them, even if it is not to this ministry. Go pay your tithes. I don't even know why God has to say that, like, to some of us. Like, there are several people here. It ain't just one. There are several people here. Like, if you know that, like, why you say that, Natasha? But if you know that you have not paid your tithes, go pay them. There are several people here. Even if you are not paying your tithes to this ministry, you go pay your tithes. Go pay your tithes. Listen, get ready. That's what God is saying. Get ready. Get ready. And so what I need right now is I have until tomorrow to get that 575 to the bank. I literally have it happened so quickly. I was just saying it's been quiet. I got some time, and God said, okay. Yeah, you got some time, but just not as much as you thought that you do. And so right now, wow, I did not know that, Natasha. That is our goal. Um, to those of you guys that are sewing, I just ask that you label it paid in full, unless you're paying tithes or something like that, or sowing just seed into this word. That is the goal of what we need for the home appraisal. And for people that don't know, like, this is pretty much like the final step that I have, until I'm actually able to like close. At this point, it's just all about waiting on the builder to it's all about waiting on the builder to finish the house. That's pretty much all that I have to wait on after this appraisal is done. And that is where we are. I'm not gonna add anything else to like what God had me talk about today, or take away anything from it. But if you know that you're in a position to sow into the goal, I just ask that you obey God. And so that is it. And so I love y'all. I'm rooting for you guys. And so the links to sow are there, PayPal or the Cash App. And that's it. As funds come in, as always, I will update you guys. But for right now, that is where we are. And so until next time, y'all. Peace.